It's a new year. We got new warnings for you. Hey everyone, Matt Swierk here. I'm a local real estate expert right here in Massachusetts with the Legacy Star team powered by Keller Williams Realty. If this is the first time you come to our channel, welcome. We talk everything about Massachusetts, whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking, playing, some of the things you need to know before you come here, right? Now, if this is the first time you've come, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button, click that little bell so every time we make a new video, you're going to get notified. So you have tons of questions, we have tons of answers. Just remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back. All right, so today we're going to be talking about some of the things you need to know before you come here, right? The seasons are always changing, things are always changing, so we're going to throw a couple new things out there every time just to warn you in case you haven't seen these videos yet about coming to Massachusetts. We love it here, so we're going to tell you a lot of the positives, but we got to tell you some of the things that people don't like as well. I think that the first thing you need to understand is that there are cheaper areas in Massachusetts than just Boston, right? And even Boston itself has some pockets you can find a good deal. And so a lot of people get nervous about the cost of living and living in the city itself and just push out a little bit, right? We got awesome towns like Watertown, Waltham, Woburn, a bunch of other named towns, that you can check out. So before you decide to do anything, we always love you to reach out with us. We can give you information, help you narrow down what's going to be best options, right? So you can call us, email us, text us. You know how to get in touch with us. The second thing we want everyone to know is that there's lots and lots of things to do here. It's really funny because we are a small city and we get a lot of inquiries of like, is there really lots of things to do there? But we have so much culture, we have so much food, we have so much value, there's so much fun throughout the city, especially this time of year. So there's a lot of things going on. And I promise you, our city is not boring. Yes, we go to bed early because everything closes early, but there's so many things that are fun to do out there as far as the city is concerned. Another thing that we absolutely love about the Massachusetts area, especially Boston, is history, right? Of course, we think that we founded America, and that's a whole nother story. My kids get really upset about Columbus Day, but we're not going there today. But think about the history that we have here. All the historic sites we have, all the old buildings. One of the guys on the team, he lives in a house that was built in 1870. There's a lot of houses that were built in 1700s. So there's a lot of people that have pride in the history and the architecture, and this is a huge, for anyone that's into history, what a playground this place is. So definitely if you have history buffs, you want to come check out the city or you're thinking about moving here, you will not be disappointed by any means. Now, the other thing that we always got to warn about, yes, this is a warning, is our cost of parking, right? So you're either going to have two challenges. Well, yes, you might have both challenges, but you're going to have one of your challenges might be the fact you can't find parking, right? The second one is going to be the fact that maybe you're spending a ridiculous amount to park somewhere. Right, so off-street parking is really big for a lot of people when they look to come into the to move to the city. You don't really need a car because we have the train line, we have the bus line, the commuter line. Those are all part of our T system. It's called the MBTA. We call it the T. Sometimes in these videos you hear me just talk about the T being the train, but it includes the water ferries, it includes the buses, the trolleys. I mean, we have all different types of transportation that fall underneath that bracket. So you don't necessarily need to have a vehicle here, but you're going to go into, say, a Bruins event or something like, some big event, you might be spending $40 or $50 to park, right? And it can be expensive. So you're going to probably be stuck in that little rut of overpaying and trying to figure out where to park for your first couple months here. But once you learn some of those little side streets and some of the scoops there's a lot of great parking, and you got to be a local to know where to go. So that's a little teaser, and maybe I'll share some of those secrets on a different video. We'll see. All right, so yes, we're in the new year, so of course, yes, it is wintertime here. Yes, like a lot of the country, well, actually, I take that back. A lot of the country's going through a lot worse than what we're dealing with. Typically, we're dealing with the snow, but everyone else is dealing with snow these days, except down in like Arizona. So, yeah, we not going to get into global climate change right now, but, we basically, come in here, like, you got to layer up as far as your clothes are concerned, right? Like, we have lots of bulky clothes. Right now, it's only about 40 degrees, so that's a really warm day for us. We don't drop down into the negatives that much, but we have, the wind chills can be pretty cold here.
So it's interesting. We're always getting questions about what's the weather like in New England. As you can tell behind me, beautiful snowy day. What's today's date? April 16th.
And we've been traveling. Some of the people on the team have been traveling. Tyler had gone out to California. You know, he was a little chilly there. I had just recently gone to Arizona, and I think at nighttime it was 60. And I was surprised because when I was in Arizona, 60 degrees, I'm like, this is kind of chilly. And then the second I get off the plane back to Boston, it was 30 degrees. I'm like, oh, this feels really good. So I don't know what happened, you know, flying a couple hours. But those kind of chilly temperatures outside, you know, our region, those are pretty laughable because people that have to deal with the 50s at nighttime because it gets really cold. Yeah, we're getting ready for some 17-degree temperatures, you know, and it's going to get a little colder here. So, you know, like I said, the wind chill, that really hurts us as far as some of those bitter temperatures. You got to really layer up. Not as bad as Minnesota, where you got to put Vaseline on your face to protect, you know, from that much. Although we did do that when I used to do door-to-door sales. We used to put Vaseline on our noses, not to get wind chill, wind bite, frostbite, right? So I digress once again. But you know, we love our LL Beans, we love our Eddie Bauers, you know, any heavy-duty clothing company. You know, we're getting ready to go out there and face a blizzard, and those things called the nor'easters. Yes, when it's cold enough, those wreak havoc on Massachusetts without a question. You have a pattern that comes in, northeast, bam. You know, we always laugh this time of year. You know, it's just it's a little bit above the freezing point. We're like, geez, thank goodness this is rain, because if this was snow, oh my gosh, we'd be running out to the store, grabbing our eggs and our milk and our butter and our bread. Some weird phenomenon here. Like, you got to go emergency shopping for those items, especially milk and bread. If you don't have milk and bread when there's a snowstorm, forget it. You're not going to survive. Why? I don't know. That's just what we buy into. That's a weird culture that you're going to have to absorb here. So, but I'll tell you, the other thing, and I used to be one of these lunatics, is that there's a good chunk of people that will have their winter shorts, you know, ready for when it, you know, the temperatures, when they get down below the 20s, and all of a sudden we have a nice 35-degree day. It's like, yeah, throw the shorts on. This is absolutely amazing. That is not a joke. That is true. All right, another thing that you have to be ready for, this is never going to change unless we have a lot of transplants that come in and kick us all out, or you have the kind of my changing of the accent. Yes, I'm talking the accent, the Oz, you know, where the Oz go, and adding an R to the words that end in A, like sulfur, vodka, pizza, all those weird things. So, you know, the closer you are to the city and the, you know, people that have grown up in that area, 100%, the accent is very thick. I have been caught, you know, I've gotten some feedback from the videos that's really funny. Like, Matt, you don't have as much as an accent as you say you do. Well, I've tried to refine myself because, you know, my self-image is like, oh, geez, am I going to sound uneducated because I didn't say car? Whatever, right? So you'll hear it in and out. If I ever had a drink or two, yeah, it comes out really thick at that point in time. So sometimes it is confusing to, you know, especially if we start talking fast and you're like, what did that guy just say, right? So what's really funny is, and we did a video on this, is that we have a lot of weird names. So not even weird names, but weird pronounced names. So right away, if you come in and you pronounce one of those ways, maybe phonetically, like it's, you know, you say, this is how it should be pronounced. No, and we're gonna kind of laugh, right? And we'll kind of chuckle. we won't make fun of you, but we'll just kind of, yeah, you're from out of town. So the only thing I'm going to warn you about is, right, don't come to our house and bring your sports teams into the equation. No. You can talk whatever way you want to, just don't bring up your teams. I'm not even going to get into some of those teams. Okay, anyway, so that's the, like I said, get ready for that accent. That can be pretty thick. Yeah, weird phenomena. Why? I don't know. I wish I knew. Lots of stories. I'm not going to tell them. So the other thing too is I think that we get a bad reputation because we're not really. People aren't really focused on our food here, right? So like if this is an underrated foodie destination. Oh my gosh, like I could sit here for hours, like just a list of all the different types. I mean, Italian, Japanese, Vietnamese, Mexican, Korean. I mean, you name a Cambodian. I could just, you know, Ethiopian. I could just keep going on. Egyptian. I could just keep going on and on and on. So you got to come, and then we have our own little, you know, kind of, we have our little Italy space, and we used to have our little, you know, kind of our Irish area that kind of got transformed over the years. But we have so many amazing, you know, food spots here. And I'm not talking like the major chains. I'm talking like the local mom and pops, absolutely phenomenal food. So definitely, if you're a foodie, please come here. Excuse me. You'll be pleasantly surprised. I promise. Okay. And if you get bored with food, call me because I'll bring you some really good places and we'll eat some junk food. Yes, fried clams will be on that equation. All right, so here's the other thing: cost of living. We're going to go specifically towards rents, right? Rent. Dramatic changes depending on where you are. Some of them can be absolutely outrageous. Depends, you can get a place on the water. You could be right in the middle of the city. I mean, it's overall we do have a higher cost as far as rent is concerned. But there are some great options. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a train system that's not that bad as far as how quickly it can get you to certain places, right? So even if you didn't want to be in the, in Boston proper or even outside, we have that commuter rail that kind of gets you all different places. So you could easily, move out to a place like, I'll bring up like Acton, right? A lot of people are gonna say, where is that, Matt? So it's kind of out over here, and depending on what you're looking at. But you could take a place like Acton. That rent's going to be probably a bad example because that rent might be a little bit higher because of a really good school system, but you're not going to pay as close as the Boston prices, right? So, and the point of bringing up Acton is you could probably be into Boston within like a half hour, 40 minutes from that train, right? You just kind of hang out, read the newspaper, read a book, or throw a podcast in, whatever tickles your fancy. So when we talk about real estate, that's something definitely. We look at as far as being, in the industry, excuse me, we help a lot of people that buy homes in the Boston area. Some people want those amenities. They want to be very close to everything. They don't care what they're paying. Typically, even if the market corrects itself, those prices always hold pretty strong. But you might be better off if you come in here to buy, just like with renting, you're probably better off moving outside the city. The cost is going to be a lot lower. You're going to get more bang for your buck as far as size is concerned. I know that, you could get maybe a quarter of an acre, some tiny little space versus opposed to 2 acres, maybe 50 minutes outside of the city. So that's going to be typical in any real estate market. The closer you are towards the city area, the more it's going to be. So there's a lot of great rural, when I say rural, I'm not thinking like out in the, the Great Plains across the country, right? So I was in a place that we called it country, but there was still quite a bit of people. Some of the lots there to build a new house, you had to have a 2 acre minimum, right? So that was pretty interesting, especially from a city kid that we had like quarter acres or half acres, if that. And all of a sudden now I move out to the country, and it's like 2 acres. I was like, oh my gosh, like what do I do with all this land? Lots of trees, which is great. I'm not going to cut them down, so that's that's not a special thing of Massachusetts. That's a across the world thing. Closer to the city, values go up. It is what it is. I think that overall, our city and our not even our city, our state, and we'll identify Boston, just keeps getting better and better, right? It's funny because sometimes we get a lot of negative comments from our scorned Bostonians that just despise where they came from, and we don't know what happened. Like who peed in your Cheerios? Why are you so mad? Did you not get the invitation to the Boston Tea Party? Like, I'm sorry. Why are you so mad about being here from Massachusetts? But all jokes aside, the economy is growing. We have some of the top rated schools in the area. There's a strong demand for people looking to move here. So, it's definitely a good time to come now, because just like a lot of places, across the country, the real estate market is still creeping up. So you might be able to get in here before things get too crazy, to find a good deal. That's just a couple things that we want to update as far as it being wintertime and being ready to come here to Massachusetts. We just want to thank you for watching the videos. We always appreciate it. And, definitely reach out to us if you have questions, about living here, about moving here, about some of the amenities here. There's lots of them. Go ahead and shoot us a message. You can call us, email us, some type of social media. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. We got a lot of systems in place. Just remember, when it comes to Massachusetts, we've always got your back.